Hey y'all, this is Alex. I don't know why I say that every time. It's like I'm calling you on the phone or something. But you know who I am. Although it's been at least 3 weeks since I made a video because my life has been crazy. Because I got married. What up? And then traveled a bunch. So basically, since the time I've made my last video, I've had equal as many T-shots as the times I've made a video. So I had made 3 videos, and since then I've had 3 T-shots, so that means I've had 6, and I'm about to do 7 today. But I wanted to check in because I know that there have been a ton of changes, even though I know that I've also not really been feeling them as much. It's been awesome. It just sort of happened, and I keep waking up and my voice sounds deeper, and I feel better, and that's been feeling really good. I declared this week at work my Pride Week, since it's actually Pride here in D.C. where I live, and I decided that there were a couple of people at work who still didn't know that I was trans, and people started to ask if my voice was different because I had a cold or something, and actually had an awkward moment at work where someone in a room full of people was like, "Hey, did you just get recovered from a cold?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Oh yeah, my voice. People are starting to notice." And so my goal is by tomorrow, is Friday, that I'll have told everybody, because it's been 2 years going by male pronouns, and it's been 6 to 8 weeks on T. I can't even count anymore. And it's really time for people to know. I mean, it's like kind of my last real frontier of integrating being identified as male in my life. The nice thing about my office is I'm really lucky that it's not going to be a big deal. There's not a huge issue around bathrooms. I mean, people kind of use whatever in that office because they're our own, they're private. In my old office, we had a key to a shared bathroom in a suite situation, and that just was going to be real awkward if I had to change there. I think that, really it's about getting them to use male pronouns where they can, or where they feel comfortable, and, as I start to look different, then that'll become less and less of an issue. Most everyone's been really good about it. No one's been shocked in a bad way. I think people have been inquisitive, and it's really about trying to figure out how to talk about it. I think people want to ask if it's something I've been feeling for my whole life, and I don't really identify like that. I think it's more like something I've been wanting to do for a long time, for sure, but it's not something that I would definitely say, feeling like I was born in the wrong body, or this isn't something that I've known since I was 2, which is fine, because when I was 2, I was just running around, and I think that I really value the body I was born into because it taught me a lot. And so trying to help shift the narrative, even in my very liberal office, about what it looks like to be gender nonconforming and what it looks like to transition and how to be vulnerable in that space. Because I think that, I've noticed about myself that it's really easy to not want to be vulnerable, to kind of want to shut people out and off and not tell them what's going on with me and not let them in that way. And granted, I have a right to do that, but at the same time, I think that no one wins. I don't get to break down some of the barriers about what it might mean to not assume so many times. In my conversation today with one of my coworkers, she was telling me about her daughter's partner, who is pretty gender nonconforming, it sounds, and she's never asked what kind of pronouns she preferred. So I said, sometimes in spaces I'm in, we go around and introduce ourselves, say what pronoun we prefer and where we're from. It's just a statement of fact. And she was like, "Oh, I could do that." I'm like, "Yeah, you could do that. We could do that, You can just be simple." So I have hope that I can stay in this place where I want to keep putting myself out there, and telling people what's been going on, so that way they can learn something new, because they've never maybe had the chance to. So, anyway, those are my deep thoughts for my fourth video, and hopefully I will be back on the bandwagon and doing it weekly. So, thanks for staying with me.